The Hunters are arguably one of the most dangerous enemies you will face in Tom Clancy's The Division, an enemy shrouded by mystery who attacks with extreme lethality. In this video, I'll discuss the Hunters' identity as well as their possible origins. The Tom Clancy universe has been known to pit Russian special operation units to rival America's, such as Recon from Splinter Cell and Bodark from Ghost Recon, both of which carry similar tech and training to mirror our respective special units. It's also been heavily hinted and speculated that all the games take place within the same universe. But if the Tom Clancy games are connected, where does The Division and Ghost Recon take place with each other? I think The Division takes place at the very end of the Tom Clancy timeline, right after Future Soldier. I've not been able to discover what year exactly The Division took place in, but the virus decimated the rest of the world to include Russia, so it's safe to say that the rest of the games will not be possible with the virus that is ravaging the world. The new Ghost Recon game will pit the player against a rogue unit of elite soldiers known as Wolves. The Wolves in Breakpoint could be the precursors of the Bodark team. As of this video, all we know is that a team of rogue ghosts and other Spec Ops soldiers took over Skeltek's island of Aroa as well as all of their gear and equipment. Skeltek was working on optical camouflage at the time and sent a younger John Kozak to the field in Bolivia to test it. The Wolves could have stolen the technology and leaked it to Russia in some sort of way. Why do I think they did this? I'm not absolutely certain. But it does explain how they know about the Ghost, which is a highly kept secret of America, and now they obtained their similar technology. So the Wolves in Breakpoint could be the reason that the Bodark unit was formed, and after being disbanded during the events of Future Soldier, the Hunters were probably formed up as an offset unit, with their logos being eerily similar. But what does this have to do with the Hunters? Bodark is also a rogue Russian unit that aligned itself with Raven's Rock, the antagonists of Future Soldier. This organization was also comprised of rogue soldiers who went into illegal activities to fund their goal of turning Russia into an ultranational state. Now, Bodark was the unofficial name of Special Training Unit 500, named after the folklore of men who wanted to become wolves. So you might start to see a connection here, because who else do we know that can mirror us and have a logo that closely resembles a wolf? The Hunters. Now I know what you're thinking, and no, I'm not saying that the Hunters are following the trend of rogue soldiers that are secretly rogue agents, or a third wave of agents for that matter. That theory has way too many plot holes and is way too convenient for a Tom Clancy game. But what do we know about the Hunters so far? They're located in New York and Washington DC, they have shade tech and know how to counter and hack it, they carry watches as trophies, and they only showed up after Keener left with Vitaly Chernenko, a Russian scientist. Now, who else do we know that was confirmed to be in both New York and DC? Keener and Chernenko. If you connect the dots, they are Russian agents hunting down Keener and trying to retrieve their virologist. But you're probably thinking, where did they get our tech if they aren't rogue agents? It's because they stole it. If you think about it, it makes sense, because shade tech isn't exclusive to just Division agents. Anyone can use it. But why were the other factions not shown using our dead agents' gear? It's because they don't know how to use it. This explains why Keener was bargaining with it to Lieutenant Colonel Blisk with his shade tech in return for manpower. He probably also knew that the LMB didn't know how to properly use it, therefore getting the upper hand in the deal. There's no evidence to suggest that our technology is also locked by a single user, but if there was, I can guarantee that the Hunters know how to slip past it. If I'm right about the Hunters being another Russian unit to mimic America's units, then that means they already understand our technology and know how to hack and jam our gear. This also explains how they can hack our turrets and reverse them onto us. That also means that these guys are specifically trained to combat the Division. But why would Russia need a unit that can rival an American agency whose sole purpose is to save what's left of a country in case of a catastrophic event? The Hunters were probably sleeper agents that slipped into America undetected with the sole objective of saving what's left in case of an emergency. If America were to ever fall, the Hunters were probably tasked with retrieving and securing vital Russian assets in America and returning to Russia. At this point, they found out that a shade agent kidnapped their most valuable scientist on virology, but what they didn't know is who took him. Whether he was rogue or not was irrelevant to their objective. What mattered was that an agent from the division took him, and now they needed to bring him back at any cost. This brings me to my next point, why they were the watches of fallen agents. It's because our watches is our primary way of communicating with each other. This includes radio and GPS. They probably couldn't pinpoint Keener's exact location with a single watch, so grabbing a handful of watches might point him out. And all of this is relayed through the Isaac brick on every agent's bag. But guess who doesn't wear an Isaac brick? The Hunters. It's because the Isaac brick acts as a relay between the Isaac node and the respective region and the agent, therefore allowing shade handlers to keep track of all of their agents at all times. Plus, I'm pretty certain that they're only tuned to each individual agent, thus further pointing out that the Hunters are not shade agents, rogue or third wave for that matter. Plus, the watches glow an ominous red when the agent becomes rogue. The watches on the Hunters are all orange. Back to the topic of why they took smartwatches as trophies, it's because they're collecting intel on where to find Keener. It isn't as simple as finding him using Isaac. Since Keener is the First Wave's prodigal son, it's safe to say that he has extensive knowledge on how to stay off the division's radar. But this doesn't stop the Hunters, because they do eventually find his whereabouts and track him to Washington, D.C. Keener's presence is confirmed by audio logs he left behind in the city, who also confirms that Chernenko was still alive and is still in his custody. But why were there only a dozen Hunters in D.C., but New York has an army of them? After they discovered 6 months later that Aaron Keener is located in D.C., they sent a scout team to track him down. So why all of this mystery surrounding them? It's because it was done on purpose to make sure that you don't suspect it was ever Russia who sent them. This is why they wear masks and never speak. They're hiding their accents and language because how do you think America or the rest of the world would react if they found out that Russian operatives were killing American agents? If the world ever fixed itself, we know what America will set its sight on. So, there you have it, guys. I believe the Hunters are Russians sent to track down Keener and to retrieve their scientist. What do you guys think? Discuss it in the comment section below on who you guys think the Hunters are, and I'll see you guys in my next video.